Hello and greetings and welcome to our Ontario network of CAPC and CPNP projects, Indigenous Teachings Learning Circle. My name is Sydney and today is August 17th in 2022 and really delighted to be here for another in a series of learning circles with our special guests who I will introduce in a moment. I just want to take a moment to welcome those who are here and to both acknowledge the territory that the organization I work for, Horizon Family and Community Services in Southwestern Ontario, is on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Neutral peoples. And myself, coming to you from the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia, I want to acknowledge that I'm on unceded territory of the Okanagan Silks people. And with that, I would also like to welcome Vera Jones and Sheila Robson, and they're going to talk to us today about baby bundles. And Sheila actually sent me a little bit of information about both of them that I thought I would share. Sheila and Vera are both from the Nabashingming First Nation, and I hope I pronounced that someone correctly. And Vera is mother to our elder here, mother to 5 boys, 1 daughter, grandmother to 12 grandchildren, 27 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild born on her birthday in March. She's active in ceremonies and learning traditional ways. And Sheila is a ceremonial, oh my goodness, Ojibwa, Kwe, sun dancer, sweat lodge conductor, bundle caretaker, medicine gatherer, and maker and teas of salves. And they have so much knowledge and wisdom and joy and light to share. So it's such a delight. And I do have an offering here of tobacco that I can offer virtually to in order of gratitude and thank you for your time. So that is really enough of me talking. I'm really excited to hand it over to the two of you and welcome. You're most welcome here. Okay. Yeah.
Welcome everyone. I'm so glad that you could join us from wherever you are in Canada, US, all over the world, or wherever your roots originate from. We're just so grateful to be invited to come and talk about the baby bundles. Mm-hmm. And so I think what we'd like to do, and I didn't get it prepared yet. However, I'm going to go get some tobacco. And we always like to start our groups, and I'm going to call it a ceremony, in a good way, and offer some sama to our Nokomes and ask if she would please do an opening prayer for us and start us off in a good way. Mm-hmm.
Shikalamokwe. Oh, Anishik, 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 for allowing us to be part of your creation this day. We ask for your guidance, direction, and your energy so we can fulfill our journey in a good way. Just for this day. We say Anishik, Anishik, Anishik to all of us that walk from the eastern doorway, the southern doorway, the western doorway, and the northern doorway. We are so grateful, and we ask for the energy for all of us, for guidance, direction, so that we can hear each other and come to share and support each other. No different than what we see out there with all of your creation, standing firm and close, much close together, and have everything we need. We are so grateful. Oh, Anishik, 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 Anishik. Oh.
Oh, Nishik, Miigwech. So our topic today is baby bundles. And the last session that we had, it was about self-care and looking after ourselves as moms and parents, and, you know, and preparation for what's coming. And so our baby bundles are sacred bundles. And I guess what I'd like to start off with is, you know, to acknowledge our backgrounds and our ancestors, and how those bundles were originally looked after, and how we took care of ourselves, and keeping in mind, you know, the many ceremonies that we used in taking care of that bundle while we're carrying, you know, because that, you know, that baby lives in water. And I think about our mother, and I think about the life that she gives, and the life that we give as we become mothers, and carrying, you know, those beautiful bundles, and for 9 months, sometimes less and sometimes more. Nowadays they don't let you go over, but you know, sometimes, you know, you carried that baby for 10 months, and you know, and bonded, you know, there was lots of bonding and medicines that we took to look after. And I can't really speak to this. I'm going to ask Nokomis to talk about this, because this is really important. And it's really good to know as well in today's society, as times are changing. And that is that we had midwives, we had women in our communities. And I don't remember that time, but Nokomis, she remembers that time, and she participated and helped in that. So I'm going to pass it over to Nokomis and ask her to speak about those important teachings and that important time, you know, when those baby bundles were preparation, and parents were getting prepared, and the kinds of things that they did, because I think that's really important as we're moving into times like that again. I know there's reserves that are still, you know, they have midwives, they have home deliveries, and it's coming back, and it's coming back big. So I'm going to pass it over and ask her to speak about that. Miigwech.
Nimke Kweh Dishdukas is my name. It's on Ojibwe. That means Thunder Woman. Because I'm loud. Ask my grandchildren, great grandchildren. But you know, it's I want you to think about it. We need to go back. I see, you know, my sister was born. I helped with they weren't called midwives. They were just grandmothers that I think of Aunt Beatrice. She's already gone, but I could remember her coming to get me next door. Come and help me. Okay. And she delivered a baby, which is Hector Joseph. And you knew, I don't know, there was just something in you that you knew this is the way it was. We still have that. It's just that we've kind of put it on a shelf someplace, because everything is so modern technology. but I really need you to go back because that's how you were brought here. You weren't, now it's so confusing too with all the test tubes babies. It can be confusing, but if you look back in society and all nations, babies were very sacred. I mean, even planning for them, well, I've never planned for anything, especially babies. This just happened. It's the way it was. And that's the way it is today, even yet. I wish I could say I planned or my grandchildren or great-grandchildren planned. There's no such thing. When babies are ready and the Creator decides that it's time for you to be a mother, it's time for you to be that mother. And but you need to prepare yourself in your heart, because you are the mother, no different than our Mother Earth out here. She provides us with everything. And you as a mom do the same thing. You're the hub of the wheel. Everything focuses around you. You need to know that, and you need to own it because it's true. And it makes no difference what you think about your mother. She gave you life. The choice you have now is yours. But before you start to look at different ways of becoming a mom, go back and look at the way it was. When I think of, there was no such thing. When I grew up, I have never seen a doctor. We just didn't. Maybe for vaccinations. We just went through a line, or for polio shots. That's all I remember. But there was no doctors, and there was no magic pills that would make life easier that I remember. Today, there's all kinds of magic stuff out there. Even like we never ever bottle fed our babies. It was always through the dodos, through our titties. And if one didn't have milk, the mother didn't have milk, the other mother did. And it was shared. I've done that with my nephews across here that look after me. These boys now come and do everything for me, like snow and just, I mean, it's just beautiful. And I always believed that way back when we had our babies together, and when she went into the bush or whatever, I took both babies and I fed them. We did that all the time. We even did that for one. We took turns because the baby couldn't, the mother didn't have milk and the baby couldn't digest. They tried everything to give him. So we took turns going over there to feed him. It was just natural. That's the way it was. But it was a good, clean way. I used to smoke, but I've never ever did anything else that would put bad medicine in my milk to feed my children. It's very confusing for a lot of, even me. I don't understand a lot of it. I try and I listen to it. I disagree with it a whole lot. And I know there's all kinds of grannies out there and young moms that do disagree too. And this is one that you should never stop talking about, because our newborn babies are affected now in so many ways. Breathing, born diabetics, I can't think of, there's so many things now. They go on machines. 6 children is full of them. There's no easy answers in my mind, except to go back and have a look at what is provided for us all out here. That magic is in the earth right there. And even if it's on top, under the earth is still good. And if you stay and keep looking for that medicine, and look at where your grandmothers, your great grandmother, everyone has a story. Don't be afraid of that story. And if you don't know it, you need to find it. It's there. I can remember after great grandpa, he lived to be 100. He lived by himself. He cooked for himself. He did, there was no such thing as old people's homes or long-term care or any of that stuff. Right now, I'm proud of myself, and I say that. I turned 83. I love it when I'm slow. It takes me days to get around here. This morning, I love my radio. Sheila said she's coming in, and my daughter phoned me. It's comical, really. And I said, yes. When she come to the door, she says, "And Sissy, are you naked or clothes?" Because I was just getting out of the shower. I said, come on in. But it is, to me, it's comical. Because that's family. And when it's family, we need to rebuild our community. And how do we do that? By going back. The babies that were born, the babies that were fed. And the latest was, they took some of that stuff off of that feed the babies, where there was E. coli or something in it. Something was wrong with it. And they took them off the shelf. Now the latest is, I was watching it on TV, where they're short on children's Tylenol and all that stuff. There's none to be found, and they're warning moms to be careful not to give them the full dose or so much. And I look at it and I thought, my gosh, that should never happen. Of course, I sit here and grumble to myself and say, and I would like to be on TV and say, okay, let's go back. Let's go back out here where it's safe to give them herbal teas, give them a taste. When we grew up in a bush, that's all we had. And it was safe. It didn't interfere with anything. Now, I know I'm not looking for promises from you. I'm not looking for anything from you. And you ain't gonna find your ways by listening to me. You're going to have to do your own homework. And it's time you did. If I didn't, I get after my daughter, my granddaughters, Sheila, all the young ladies that I I tell them the same thing. Now tell me your story, what you remember. I need to hear it. And sometimes it hurts, but sometimes, oh, finally somebody will listen to you. And that's important. I'm going to listen to you. I only can tell you what I know and what I grew up with it, and the teachings that are still there with the grandmothers from your nation, from your families. Now I'm going to sit here and drink my tea and let you think about this.
And also as well, she's not really slow like she says. She's not. You should see this woman would zip around in Walmart with that cart. I'm standing there 1 minute, the next minute I turn around, she's gone, and I'm like, where did she go now? Don't let her fool you. Anyways, yeah, so I guess for me, when I think about those baby bundles too, you know, I've heard, you know, I've had an honor to sit around with the grannies and listen to them talk, you know, and I encourage you to do that. If you can sit around with some grandmothers and listen to them talk about the old times, sometimes you need to, you know, just mention something and they'll start talking about that. And they talk about how, you know, the dads would be waiting outside getting prepared for those bundles. A fire might be lit, you know, they would have tea, and the women would come and they would gather, you know, gather together and you know, to support the family. You know, the parents would, or the grandparents would take other little ones, you know, take them away so mom and dad could have this time and be supportive. But the dad was never usually in there when the women gave birth to these babies, you know, and they had specialties. Grandmothers knew their medicines, and they knew what teas worked for what, to help to assist, you know, in the birthing process of delivering that beautiful bundle and bringing that bundle into the world, you know. And I can remember my grandmother, she always said babies are born on a full moon or a new moon, you know. Usually the full moon, she would say, oh, you know. And they had those they paid attention to their surroundings, and that's what I was taught. And my grandma, she'd be sitting on her porch and she would see a walking stick and she'd say, oh, one of my grandkids is, I'm going to be great grandma again. She just knew. And then the dreams would happen. She would start having dreams, and my grandmother got so good, she could narrow it down to which family was having a baby. That's how good she got, you know. And she just knew. And then she would just sit by her phone and wait for the phone call, you know, that you're going to be a great grandma or a grandma. Anyways, yeah, you know, it's they really looked after each other. And, you know, I think that's something that we have to get back to. When I think about, you know, my own children and, you know, my son and his daughter and my grandson, you know, I'm a part of that baby bundle, you know. So as aunties, as cousins and relatives, we're all a part of those baby bundles. And when we come into gatherings and you know, community events or gatherings. You're an auntie to all those little ones running around. You know, I call myself Auntie Sheila to kids that I don't even know sometimes, you know, and I reach out and I see a baby and my face lights up, and you know, you want to give your love energy to all those little ones, all those little people. You know, Nokomis didn't mention this, but you know, her great grandson was born on her birthday. You know, like what a beautiful birthday gift. How that little spirit that comes from universes beyond to, you know, chooses his parents and says, no, I'm going to be my great grandma's birthday gift and come into this world at that time. And that's what that's about. That's about that connection to creator. That's about the connection with our mother earth and our Nokomis, that moon, right? And all of those teachings, that's what they talk about. You know, how we make that agreement with creator to come and choose our family, choose our parents, choose our lives and what our lives are going to be like, because we have lessons to learn, you know, and we are all love and light, you know, walking this earth. We all come here and we have to go through all those difficult times. So our ancestors, you know, those grandmothers and you know, our moms sacrificed and suffered to bring us into this world. And that's basically what we do. We sacrifice and we suffer. And that's the most beautiful ceremony, you know, that we could do for our future, for our babies and for our loved ones, you know, and going through that pain, breathing, right? Or, you know, I don't know if we have any men on here. However, you know, us women that have had babies, we know what that's about, you know, and we welcome, you know, and the grandmas always say, you don't swear when you're giving birth to the babies. You didn't swear when you were making the baby. And that's the truth, right? You weren't swearing when you were busy making that baby. You know, you made that baby in love. The baby comes out with love, and that's right. You know, that's right. We have to think about those things, because all of that energy that we bring out, you know, that's going to affect those little bundles. It's going to affect those babies, right, inside, you know, and you know, maybe scientists and doctors or whatever, you know, there's labels out there that don't agree that the baby inside our bellies is, you know, is a human yet. They have many disagreements and many views and opinions on that. But we know, you know, as life givers, I mean, Mother Earth didn't say, oh, there's a little sapling coming up there. No, you're not a baby. You know, she doesn't think like that, right? She don't view that way, right? If there's a new little sprout coming up out of the ground, she doesn't say, no, you're not, you know, she's not like that. She don't say that. And we don't believe that either. You know, we believe that once that little spark that comes, that little spirit enters into this body and sits inside this, you know, this water bubble, I'll say, you know, that life that's being developed in those cells that start, because the baby has ears, the baby hears everything. And the baby sees. My grandson, he knew who his grandma was gonna be, you know, he knows today. And I can tell we have connections with our children. We have those connections. We're connected. Those umbilical cords, even though they're cut and snipped and they're not there anymore, you know, there's still that connection. And it's the spiritual connection that we have, right? With our children, you know, with our grandchildren, with our great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, right? That connection is always there. And, you know, and it's so special. It's so special that, you know, Nokomis doesn't even have to be told nothing. She just knows. They know things and they can see right through you, right? We can see through. We know when our babies are in pain. And when I say babies, it could be generations ahead babies, right? And it doesn't matter what number, because they're all babies, right? Those baby bundles, they're all babies, you know, and
Yeah,
it's our,
that's important. One thing that Sheila said that really hits home. These babies, all little children, are spiritual.
Mhm,
They don't know right from wrong.
mhm,
They are spiritual.
mhm.
And each one of us were born with that. The spirituality we were born with. It's just that at times right now it's covered. It's time to uncover. I think that, to me, that hits home. It's just like poch. And when I think about it, I remember when I had my babies and mom sewing, you could buy flannelette by the
Mhm.
yards, making diapers. When they never had those fancy throwaways when I had my babies.
Mhm.
And when Tina had Josh, we sat there and we made diapers. Diapers that you had to clean, diapers you had to wash. Now you see them thrown all over. And I could remember, they say, grandmothers would say, that's so sad. That's why they're so sick,
Mhm.
because their waste, their spiritual, that was still waste.
Mhm.
And because it was just thrown anywhere. I'll never forget that.
Mhm.
And I was so happy, proud of my mom. Now, I don't know when Pampers or anything, those came out. They advertised real lots. And I remember I've even bought some for my great grandchildren because they were so tiny. And she didn't know. Now I would do that. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to training them, grandmas and great grandma took them in and we did that. We did that. There was no more throwaways. There was bloomers, little cotton bloomers. And believe me, you have to go a long ways to find bloomers. But we did. And even, but you know, and two, that's what makes a family, because it's really, it's comical. All of a sudden, when they decide, their pant legs are full and they're walking up and it's going in their boots and everything. I mean, it's not funny to clean them up, but it is really. But that's the way we learn our lessons. Even to this day, we have to, and we're fully grown, we have to make a mistake in order for us to learn a lesson. All of a sudden there's the light bulb goes off. But that's one important thing, very important, when you look at all those little ones that are there. Spirituality is number one. Even, I gotta tell you this. I was asked when the Pope came if I was quite pleased. I said, no, I am not. I says, he is what they call VIPs. He represents something. He does not know what spirituality is. Because when you have it in your heart, it's not in your head alone, and it's not where you're above everybody else. It's not, but he's a man. He's just a man. I don't hate him, but I do know the difference between Great White Father and the spiritual leaders that we have in our communities. And for women, you are all that. You were born with it. Pick it up. Pick it up one more time. Now I'll sit back and drink my tea. Thank you.
Oh, that was just beautiful, Miigwech. I think what I'd like to do now is how about we open up the floor? Are there any questions? We want to hear from you, and whatever.
For sure. I think feel free to unmute yourself or come on camera if you're not feeling shy today. I don't have any questions, but just I've been noting down things that are really, hitting me. And Vera, I think you said, to not be afraid of the story of your mothers and grandmothers. And that just really is, that's, and then just now, that especially that sort of that women's spirituality that, it's time to pick that up. That really resonates a lot with me. So thank you for those sharings and those insights. So is there anybody else who's joined us here? It's, more people have logged on since we started. So just want to say hello to everybody who is with us today. And feel free to say hello, even maybe tell us where you're from.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like people to share where they're from?
Yes. Please.
Yeah. And maybe you were hoping just to kind of sit back and watch, but it would be nice to have a hello. So we could have you even just unmute yourself if you don't feel like coming on camera.
Hi, Sydney. It's Brenda here. I hope I'm not echoing. I hope I'm not echoing. I'm in an office here that's not very well designed. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you to the grandmas there. I reminded me I'm from Thunder Bay.
Hello.
And I just want to say thank you to the grandmas for sharing today. I remember when I had my first daughter and I had a Kokum Jean that worked with me at the crisis home at the time, and she was the cook. And I would go into the hospital because my baby was like 2 weeks late, and I'd have to get stress tests. And I could hear the moms in the delivery room screaming and yelling and swearing. I'm going, oh my goodness, I was so scared. I'm on a stress thing. I'm going, who's getting stressed out more, being here or waiting for this baby to arrive? Well, I remember when the Kokum, she would say, don't swear while you're there. That is inappropriate. You're swearing at your child. And when you said that, I says, hey, I remember being told that. And at the time I was maybe 24 years old, and I'm going, I still remember being told. And when I talked to my daughter about when she had her baby, because she's 18 months old now. And I says, remember, because I always told her too, that this is a blessing. We don't swear when those babies are coming out. Like we don't swear at our children, right? It's so inappropriate. So why would we swear? We didn't swear while we were having sex. We didn't have swear when we were delivering them, and we don't swear at our children.
Yeah.
But that's what I remember. And I was told by Kokum on my first baby. So thank you for sharing that with the other moms, because I forget to tell the moms that, that I really do forget. But thanks for the reminder.
Now I see Ganwa has raised her hand in the little Zoom thing.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
Ganwa.
Hello, Sandy. So good afternoon.
Hello.
It was wonderful, actually, what I heard. It was very much nice, but I was wondering, what would you say about baby bundle in terms of in vitro babies who are also born in majority of the cases, the C-sections. And so what would be the baby bundle in this case different than the other ones
What
that
did
are
you say? I
coming
can't
from that?
understand you. Say that again.
So my question was regarding babies who were conceived or born, the in vitro babies. The in vitro babies, which is the test tube babies you referred to in your talk.
So the sperm and the egg, if I'm saying this correctly, the sperm and the egg are sort of fertilized outside the body and then they're put in the body, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Not in a normal conceived,
But
like
they do gestate inside, like they grow inside the mom. But
yes,
the,
after
the
fertilization.
actual, that's right.
Only after fertilization. So the egg
Right.
and the sperm will be fertilized outside the body, and then they will be inserted after babies are created, let's say, they will be inserted back to the uterus.
Right.
And the pregnancy will end up 90% of the times with a C-section. Also, that's another thing. So there is no involved sex at the beginning, as somebody now mentioned, I think Brenda, I'm not sure, like, so, and also the whole process is a little bit not natural. So I'm really interested in learning about the baby bundle in this case.
Okay, I would like to answer that. One thing that you're looking at the process, you look at this little bundle, it's human. It's human. It has a heart, it has everything that baby needs. Like I said, I can't question, it's confusing, I can't question it, but yet in my heart, that baby that is put there is born and is human. That's my first and foremost spirituality. Think about how that little life, this brand new spiritual life, come to being. Leave the rest alone because you don't understand it. Neither do I.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganwa. It's always nice to hear your voice and to see you. Jay Mallon, raised their hand.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi there. My name's Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Nangong Square Indigenous Cause, we Quem Kong, the Ben Dogus, Port Dover and Donjaba. When Ganwa's question and Nokomis's response there, the other thing that I feel when it comes to babies who are maybe created in the unnatural or not natural means is that they're still created with love. And that's key, right? There's that baby is so wanted that those parents are willing to go to extra lengths to have that bundle with them.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Julie. Was there anybody else who wanted to ask a question or say hello? Just even Trina? Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Trina.
I was gonna say my name in Ojibwe, but I just lost it and trying to get everything. I'm from Ishkoodeh, but I work in Sulakot, and one of my big things lately has been miscarriages, because I've gone through multiple ones now. And I'm trying to work and find ways to help other families through it. And I sat in a traditional parenting course somewhat recently, and the elder had basically said that miscarriages didn't happen in the past, and that means that there's something wrong or something. And I didn't get really good vibes from it, and it kind of hurt me, in all honesty. But I know there's different teachings and different ways for different people and stuff. And I'm just trying to navigate my way around that and figure out how I can help families through it after going through it myself and seeing how there's so little conversation behind it, especially within our own communities and our families and things like that. And, I talked to my own kokum a bunch of times about it, and she was so supportive and so helpful with me through all of that. And I want to be able to provide those kinds of things for the families that I work with in our community. So what I started doing was I put together a little package, and I call it Little Spirits. So I put a tobacco tie in there. I put a book about miscarriages, and I have a little prayer and little instructions that tells them to take that tobacco tie and carry it with them. And then I give them a little box, because sometimes it happens so quickly that they don't have anything to put baby in, right? And it's just, I don't really know where I'm going with this. I just wanted to, I don't know, maybe hear your thoughts and your words on miscarriages, and maybe if you had any kind of extra guidance for me, any words that I could maybe share with some of our families, and kind of how to go about doing that, because I do think that it's important to acknowledge. And I don't know, maybe it didn't happen in the past. I don't know if I believe that, honestly, but it does happen now, and it's quite common, and it's something that I want to support our families through, because when I did it, if I didn't have my kokum and my family members, I would have struggled a lot more than I did. Huge.
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm sitting here and I hear you, you're looking for answers that I don't even have. I don't think you're going to find them. But sometimes when I think of my own family, where my young ladies have lost their babies, it was all still a celebration of life. That little one, for whatever reason, we don't know, you don't know. I used to like Grandpa's say, he would say, only the Lord knows and he won't tell. And I said, I could remember that night, I'd laugh. But as I grew older and grew up a little bit, that's right. There are when I think about what is happening, sometimes questions unanswered is not satisfied for a lot of people, and you're one of them. You need to let this go. You don't have any answers, and don't confuse yourself by trying to find them. Let it be. The Creator has given you a new life, one that you got to put together. Be careful how you put that together, because you can hurt, whether you know it or not, it can still hurt a lot of people. You put something together that doesn't hurt you, then you can give something away that will not hurt them. I'm telling you this because I think of my family just recently, like I think of the twins, the one. This is true. This is, I'm going to tell you this story. My niece had twin boys, And one grew and the other one didn't. And that little one passed away and was only just little, because I seen it. And when they brought it home for this,
Celebration of life.
no, but they had to honor the spirit that was there, and that they had to honor the celebration of life and let it go. And this is the truth. And his name, they give him a name, was Mamangwas, which is a butterfly. And when they had this little tiny, they made a little white casket that you could hold in your hand. And when they were up there talking about this, and the other baby was a little bit bigger, and the doors were open, and a big drum was there, and that was from Sarnia. Oh, oodles of young people around it. And that butterfly came in. It landed and sat on that little casket, and it left again. It was that's when you and Tracy did the pipes. It was the most beautiful, beautiful feeling. That spirit. That's the celebration. You look inside yourself. You find that celebration for those lives that you figure you lost. Right? Don't try and figure it out. Don't put yourself in a place. You've got a new life. You bring it together. It doesn't have to begin all at once. It takes time. But first, you got to look in here, yours. Bring the good out of there, that little spirit. Yeah. That beautiful little spirit that came into your life and had to leave. You honor that. You promise me you honor that. I said, you promise me.
I promise. I was just unmuting myself.
You will unmute yourself. Okay,
I have to tell you that we did have those signs when with the one loss. I was in my room taking some time away from my kids and going through it and feeling it, and I kept hearing this chirping. So I looked outside my window and there's this big tree out there, and it was full of little birds, so many little birds. And then I saw one, it looked like he was falling down. So I was like, oh no, and like it distracted me in that moment when I was so sad, right? And I was watching this one bird, and he kept looking like he was gonna fall, but he would just drop, and he was hanging upside down on the branches, eating and eating. So it made me laugh and smile in that moment. And that's what I had called that baby. It was Benishish.
whoa.
Yeah, that was that one. And then for my other one, my husband was actually outside shoveling the roof. We had like tons of snow on the roof, and I was scared that it was gonna start caving in, because we had lots and lots of snow this winter, and he was out there shoveling and trying to pull it all off. And just like out of the snow that he was pulling off, a butterfly flew up and like fluttered around him and landed right in front of him. And he's like, what the heck? Like, where did you come from? There's nothing but snow here. And then it sat there with him for a little bit and then flew off. And it was that same moment that I had started bleeding. So it was just, like we've seen those signs and we've paid attention to them. And that one is our Memingwe. Very beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you for your words, and I promise.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trina. just so moved by that and by the work that you're doing with families. And thank you for your sharing. Does anybody else want to say hello? Manpreet, hello.
Hi, everyone. I don't have much to share. I just really wanted to offer my gratitude. I'm so grateful for the gift that you've provided to all of us here, for your time and for sharing your stories in this beautiful, beautiful gathering, to place yourself in that vulnerability state, right? To share, because these are moments of learning. These are moments for us to really reflect on going back to the basics of, you know, appreciation for our elders, and sort of that full circle of so many of us who are mothers and in that role, and just really acknowledging the love and the relationships and the gratitude that we have for one another, and to be kind, and that every opportunity is a learning opportunity. It is a gift. And so much so that, you know, through the stories that we tell and we hear from others, it allows us to open our lens a little bit more, right? And so we're often just looking and thinking in this kind of way, but when we're given the gifts of hearing from elders and from other people around us, it gives us an opportunity to see the light, right? That there is an opportunity for a new day, a new life. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for your time. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm from Newmarket. Newmarket. Yeah.
Yay.
Wonderful. Anybody else? I don't know what your timing is like, Sheila and Vera, if you're feeling ready to sign off yet, or if you have a couple more minutes.
We got all day.
Got all day.
Yeah.
I need to brew more coffee then, because actually I'm maxed out already on the coffee. But anybody else who'd like to say hello or have a question or comment for Sheila and Vera? I'm just so, my heart is feeling so, oh, go ahead, Sheila. Yes, please.
I want to give acknowledgement to that little Benojis that was on the screen there. That baby that we've seen. I don't know whose baby that was, but you
that was
know,
a very cute little baby.
So, and another thing is, you know, that there's a celebration for those baby bundles. There's welcoming baby ceremonies that you can do, and we've done that. You know, we've participated and we've been asked to have welcoming ceremonies for those babies. And it's you know, celebration. It's all about celebration. It's all about the love. There's the baby.
Hello, baby. And Mel, is it Mel? We want to say hi to you too.
Yeah.
I'm Melissa Summer Indishnakat. This is my 7 weeks on Friday. Little girl Rachel Willow.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Rachel.
Oh, beautiful.
Zagan. Oh, so beautiful.
For the beautiful teachings. I just before she was born had my placenta teaching, and in a couple weeks we're gonna have her ceremony. I've just been recovering from the emergency C-section because she decided to take her sweet time to come out. And I really appreciate these teachings. They're so absolutely wonderful and heartening. And having had my family lose a lot of their culture and practices because of residential schools and the foster care system, having the opportunity to connect on the technology platforms that we have today is just so amazing, to be able to connect in ways that we previously were disconnected, and we're able to reach out in ways that we couldn't before. So I really appreciate and express gratitude deeply to the wonderful grandmothers that have been providing all these amazing teachings, and Miigwech. And I've been taking my little spirit here with me to the full moon ceremonies down in Milton, because we live out in Southern Ontario. So we've been going to Grandmother's Voice to get our full moon teachings, and she's been an absolute saint with me.
I gotta tell you one thing. Placenta. When you know who looked after that? was my dad.
Oh.
The men that was given to the men and given to my dad, and my dad took it out. That's all I know. I just, I don't know anymore. That's all I remember. But you know, when Sheila talks about honoring, that's, I think about that little cup we got for the babies, bundles. Oh God, that was so, oh, little copper cups for the babies. Oh, it was just, there's so many ways you need to get together. You need to find in your heart how you can celebrate that new life for all those little bundles that were here or that are going to be here. All these modern technologies. Now, I don't know where Lorraine ever got these little cups. I have no idea, but they're such beauty. I couldn't get over it. I couldn't, and they were the tiniest cups about a mouth. I thought, oh my God, it wasn't meant, but you know, it was for the babies. But I already had mine. I told her, you ain't going to get this one back. I have never seen a copper cup so tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been slowly assembling her bundle. We have her cup. We found a feather on one of our morning hikes, and we were gifted a couple little items, and she just got her first moccasins, and I'm in the process of making her ribbon skirt. So we're in a very slow, when she's resting, I try to rest, but I also have many tasks to accomplish while she's resting.
Okay, that's another thing that happened. When those when the babies are born, you know, these little wee, I don't know what you call them. They're like night shirts.
Yeah.
They took them and they made a ribbon shirt on. These are just
Yeah.
just little wee ones, and here's the ribbon shirt. I mean, there's nothing hanging down, but the ribbons are on there, and the design. I never seen anything. I laughed. I thought, I can't believe this. This is beautiful. I told them, don't stop. That's the beginning. Honoring the spirituality. That little one's spirit knows. Your little spirit knows exactly. Oh, go for it, girls. You know you have it in you. You know, and there is nothing that's odd or different. Yeah. Bring it out. You have it. Now go on home.
Is that a mic drop moment? Oh, Manpreet, did you, is that a hand up or is that, okay, hello.
Hi, so I just wanted to sort of highlight on a little bit about this. I apologize, I've had my camera off before. I was tending to my little ones here. But I'm part of the a local hospital hereby in South Lake, and I'm part of the PFAC committee there. And one of the things that we're comprised of volunteers that really are advocate for the community in York Region specifically, as well as the many community members that have attended the hospital or have birthed there or whatever it may be, to be a voice and advocate for the positive experiences and for those who are not, because it's really important that we acknowledge that. And one of the things that we're working on is exactly this, is honoring, respecting, and empowering the Indigenous community, the mothers who are coming in to celebrate this incredible journey of, the birthing ceremony, and to celebrate new life, acknowledging that sort of there's this passing from the spiritual world into the physical world. And how do we celebrate that, right? And so as mothers, we acknowledge that it's about the child, you have the baby, but there's so much respect and acknowledgement and empowering that needs to happen for that mother. And I was just talking about this with one of my colleagues, in that, her little one had turned 1, and I gave her a gift, and I wanted to celebrate her for, happy birthing day. This is an incredible empowerment opportunity. And so one of the things is that we're trying to do with South Lake and say, hey, look, you have Indigenous community members who are birthing and they're having their children in the hospital. They have practices. They have practices that they just have not developed yesterday. This has been ongoing for centuries. No, we can't. How do we accommodate their practices, right? So all of these kind of pieces, and it's really, really hard, but there are hospitals in Ontario that are doing this, right? And I think it's important that we acknowledge that it's not that we cannot do it, we can. If we want to do better, if we want to think better, we need to be inclusive, and it starts with us, right? And these practices of whether it's the bathing, or if it's smudging or smoking or whatever it is, you allow that individual to feel comfortable initially to have those conversations, right? Because I have seen many clients who don't feel comfortable to bring that forward, and that is a problem, right? So we need to really do better to take those barriers away. So that's something that we have been working on, because we need to.
Here's something else for you. Here's something else. So baby's first bath is a cedar bath, eh? So we wash babies down with the cedar bath.
Yeah.
That's baby's first bath. When baby comes out, okay, so not every dad does this or even knows about this, but here's what I know about the father's role in that birthing when the baby is ready to enter the world, okay? And dad picks up that baby and he holds baby up to those 4 directions and introduces that little spirit to those 4 warriors, those 4 directions, to Mother Earth. And Creator already knows, right? Mother Earth already knows, but to those 4 warriors that sit in those 4 doorways, that's what I know. And, I wasn't able to do that because of the COVID with my grandson, but when they brought him to me at my home, I did that. I took care of that. He had his cedar bath. I lifted him up, to those 4 warriors, those grandfathers, guardians of those doorways, and introduced my grandson so that they know. Now, when he goes off and grows up and goes out into the world, all of creation is going to know who he is, because we've announced his name. And we put berries out and we did feast bundles and stuff like that, right? So we've taken care of all of those things for him,
Such a gift. Yeah, and that's the whole piece, is that, as you may have known, some hospitals are saying, okay, bathe your child. Oh, we don't bathe anymore. I had my son, 2017, they bathed him. I had my daughter, they said no bathing. And so there's this whole notion of this is what we don't do, but that's your own lens. You're passing on your own thoughts and your own lens and projecting it onto your community. If we know we have members of the community who have practices that they would like to be respected and honored, it should be made available. It should be inclusive. There should be barriers taken away, and say, here is your baby bundle. It's ready to go for you. Here is your whatever it may be. Here's, the cedar, whatever it may be. It's taking away those barriers to allow moms to feel comfortable and dads to feel empowered to do these kind of things in these places.
Exactly.
So we are working hard, but, again, I thank you so much for your time and energy and your dedication. This has been so amazing. And it's not even that we focus on the mom, but look at the empowerment that happens with fathers as well and caregivers, right? And we don't want to forget that. It's not only about the moms, it's the whole unit. It's the community.
Exactly.
The aunties, the uncles.
You didn't have the baby by herself.
Exactly. So grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. oh, just such a, I don't know, amazing energy, and thank you for that.
I
And
think Julie has her hand up there.
you see a hand up?
I see a hand up.
Yep.
Right.
Miigwech.
Hello.
So I just wanted to add to Manpreet discussion there, because when I gave birth to my oldest son, it'll be 19 years ago this past April, and I had requested, I think I had requested through my midwife that I wanted the placenta in order to bury that later. And they were I was at McMaster University in Hamilton. So maybe it's because it was a teaching hospital. Maybe I don't know if there are other hospitals who do that, but they did put that in a plastic bucket for me to take home until I was ready to bury that in my mother's yard, actually.
Thanks for sharing that.
These are teachings that you're gathering. Hang on to them. Pass them around. That's the only way we're going to find our way back, not just for you, but for all 4 nations. This is nothing new. I guarantee you that. Because all these magic machines and stuff were not there years ago in the beginning. So all the new lessons that come with the modern technology is there. But you still have the old way. Hang on to it, spread it around. Get it out there. You're on the right track.
Thank you so much, Vera. I feel just listening to you always, I feel my resolve strengthening whenever I listen to you. So does anybody else have a question or comment before we sort of move into winding down and preparing to say goodbye?
You never say goodbye.
That's right. You've told me this before.
Till
What-
we meet again.
Till we meet again, until we part ways and meet again.
Yes.
How about you, Vera and Sheila? Any final sort of thoughts or comments or words of wisdom?
Well, I want to say one thing.
Okay.
You make me feel so good, you young women. Because, there's times when us grandmothers think that, oh, we hope things aren't lost. And when I hear you, I know darn well they're not lost. They might be questioned, but they're still there. And it's up to you, young chick, to get with it. Give these younger chicks the lesson.
Yes.
I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, like these last few times we've been together, I'm just going to see if there's somebody I can mute here. Just really grateful for your time and insight, and for the conversations, and for the folks who join us and who have shared today. Some really just wonderful sharings that really I've enjoyed and feel honored to have heard. And I guess I want to say that we meet again. Vera, you said till we meet again, which will be in October, which is hard to imagine. But and we're going to talk about baby and siblings then, if that's still what your intention is. So I'm looking forward to that conversation.
That's gonna be fun.
It is. It is. And so yeah, I think unless somebody else, I don't want to rush us, but if everything's been said that needs to be said today, then we'll wrap up. But if anybody else has anything, okay. Well, I want to extend my gratitude again. Thank you so much. And I just hope you have a lovely rest of the day and rest of the month, and maybe more dumplings, hopefully, in your future.
Yes. Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to get a hold of a dumpling myself. So, and I don't know if you're seeing, but there's gratitude for you both in the chat there. So thank you, and thank you, everybody. And
Miigwech.
we
Miigwech,
will,
everyone.
yeah, I'll stop recording for sure.